everybody, Joe Van Doren here, and welcome to our Virtues Pick for today. The virtue that we're going to focus on today, that came up for us was fairness. Don't we all like things that are fair, right? So let's read the description first, and then we'll talk about how we might be thinking about it today and how we can focus on it and how we can help our kids learn about fairness. So fairness is treating each other even-handedly so that each person receives a share. With fairness, we meet everyone's needs. We listen to the views of others with openness and expect to be heard with equal respect. We don't focus on who is right, but on what is right for all concerned. Without bias, favoritism, or prejudice, we level the playing field. We are as protective of the rights of others as we are of our own. We seek not to overpower, but to empower. We are lovers of justice. Isn't that beautiful? And there isn't anything that can trigger just about everybody is when they feel like things aren't fair. And so I think that really raises the question about what is fairness. One of the things that kids always, one of the first words that they learn, I think, is, that's not fair. And they learn it pretty young, don't they? So we want to be sure, both as individuals, and I'm thinking about myself here, what are the areas of my life where I need to be more fair, or I need to be more aware of being fair. Or maybe it's an area where, maybe I need to be more assertive and speak up for my own rights and be protective of those rights. And of course, that's dealing with fairness on a personal basis. But, if we don't feel like our rights are being protected, then it can be very disempowering. We can be very upset about that, right? So fairness is not everything being equal, and I think that's the big thing that kids have to, that's one of the big lessons that a lot of kids don't learn, that it would be great if they did, and that is that just because one person gets a bigger piece of the pie doesn't mean that it's not fair. So when you sit down to dinner, who gets the biggest amount of food? It's the people who can handle the biggest amount of food, right? That need the biggest amount of food. And whether that's your teenager, and if you have a teen, you know what I mean. Or it could be, someone who's worked hard in outside all day, or maybe it just depends, right? And so that's the person that gets the bigger portion. When it comes to dessert, it's not going to always be the kid who gets the biggest portion. In fact, it probably won't be, because we know that too big of a portion for them would not be good for their system, their stomach and such. So, but most of the time when we're talking about fairness, we're not really talking about food, are we? We're talking about things that we feel that we deserve and we don't have, or that we deserve and we're not being given. So a lot of times people think about fairness from, a matter of respect. If they're not being shown respect, that's not fair. We should be showing that respect. And certainly that's a true statement. And so fairness is everyone getting what they deserve and what they need, right? It doesn't mean that they're going to get everything, but it's what they deserve and what they need. And that's true for our kids too. And so as I look at this, am I giving what is deserved? I start with my family members first, right? So my wife and my kids. Am I giving them what they deserve and what they need? The other day, I read a post where somebody was talking about being afraid to have a child because they were afraid that they might have some special needs. And the first thing that came to my mind was, every child has special needs. Every one of us have things that that we need that are unique to us, and um, so as a parent, we need to balance that out, and it can be that can be a difficult task, I think, um, because whether we want to admit it or not, if you have more than one child, almost every parent has a quote unquote favorite child. And I know in my family that not everyone in the family admits to that. But, and so the other children may begin to feel that there's favoritism there. Right. And so we have to be very careful about balancing that. And I'm certainly not one to say that, it's not right to have a favorite child. It happens. But it can happen in strange ways, and we can find ourselves demonstrating favoritism towards one or giving in more to one than we give to others. One of the biggest things that come up is, the older children, if there's a real younger one in the family, they believe that that younger one gets away with all kinds of things that we never could get away with. And they deem that as not fair. They deem it as showing favoritism. And even though they're way beyond those years, that's still how they feel. So how do we overcome this feeling of things not being fair? And I think it begins with, clarifying what our wants and needs are and focusing on those things and focusing on the right now, focusing on the things that have gotten better, and not constantly thinking about everything and putting into words and complaining about everything that we don't have. Consider the things that we do have, show gratitude for those things, and I think you'll see this feeling of fairness even out. And we also need to consider standing up for ourselves, being assertive, and standing up for the things that we need, and determining if those are needs that we have or are they wants, and all those things play into this. It's one of those areas I think that I've struggled with to some degree. And when you grow up in a family where there was not a lot to be had, that we were not very well off, to say the least. And and there were a lot of times where different things felt like they just weren't fair, including what we were able to do as kids and whatnot. So, and it took a long time because, quite honestly, I didn't have the guidance from my parents in regard to things like this. And this is why I think it's so important for us to discuss the virtues that each child has within them and demonstrate to them, acknowledge in them, honor them and appreciate them for the times that they demonstrate these different virtues. So that's how I'm thinking about fairness today. I'm going to go through my day and think about, how am I acting? What am I thinking? Am I doing so without bias? Am I doing so without prejudice? Am I looking to not only make sure that things are right for me, but also what am I doing to empower others? And I think that's a good way to make things fair. So have a great day today, and until next time, keep practicing the virtues and the 4 C's of successful families, and that is clarity, communication, consistency, and community. Until next time, bye.